PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PCN. We have a great show tonight packed with stories from our community. We visit the Pembroke Library, which is all abuzz in anticipation of a new Dr. Seuss book. And we'll take you to the Plymouth Open Space Committee Forum.
PCN brings you a sneak peek of the upcoming spring concert from the Snug Harbor Community Chorus, and we visit a herring count starting up in Kingston.
We stop into the Plymouth Career Fair. Pet Health brings us tips on cleaning your dog's ears, and Town Talk is from Plymouth.
We've got a great show ahead of us, and we start things off with a Feed Your Bones event at the Kingston COA. Recent studies have shown that over 54 million Americans aged 50 and older are affected by osteoporosis and low bone mass. In fact, the risk of men over the age of 50 experiencing an osteoporotic fracture is up to 27%. That number is higher than the lifetime risk of developing prostate cancer, which stands at 11.3%. Helen Kelly dealt with 27 years of progressive osteoporotic bone loss, which she was able to bring to a halt. She and her daughter held a forum at the Kingston Council on Aging, and PCN dropped by.
73 years old.
Helen Kelly is a woman whose 27-year progressive osteoporotic bone loss was stopped by making changes in her diet and giving up pharmaceuticals and calcium pills. She held a forum recently at the Kingston Council on Aging to discuss maintaining bone health. While it may not be a packed house inside, it's certainly a case of quality versus quantity, as everyone in attendance appears to be genuinely interested in the topic at hand.
Everyone in this audience was attentive and interested. It was a wonderful experience for me and for Laura. People were keen to know about how to improve their bone health. They're aware of a lot of the problems. They're aware of the literature questioning the pharmaceuticals. They're aware that there are problems, but they weren't aware that there are solutions and that those solutions can come from your pantry.
The Laura she mentions is her daughter, a primary care physician who joined the discussion from her home in Los Angeles via Skype.
She's a medical doctor, and I'm a science writer. So together, I find the words to write down what we know, and she knows it.
It's her belief that the problem with the Western medicine culture is that they want to target the illness directly with a medicine, rather than focus on the whole body and create a balance.
Osteoporosis is not a disease, but osteoporosis is deficiency of minerals and balances. So if you restore the minerals and the balances, it's not a Western perspective. So when my doctor did a bone density test and said, you have osteoporosis, your bones are thinning, I'm going to give you a medicine that's going to stop the natural process of disintegrating the broken down bone. So it stays there in your bones and it looks thicker when you do a picture. But it actually hasn't addressed the reasons that your bones have gotten thinner.
A great way to convince people to make some changes in their diet is to offer up some tasty snacks. Snacks that are actually good for them and can help their bones. They put out 4 different types of cheese, all made with raw milk, 2 types of organic bread that contain the minerals that help maintain bone density. They even brought a bottle of raw milk, which still isn't legal to sell in stores in Massachusetts. In fact, Mrs. Kelly and her husband drive to a farm in Dartmouth to get their supply.
I hope that everyone here understands after they leave that they can take charge of their own bone health.
From the Council on Aging in Kingston, I'm Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
One fish, two fish, green fish, blue fish. Dr. Seuss has been a beloved children's author for decades, and more than 20 years after his death, a new book will be released this summer, and it's called What Pet Should I Get? The new book, promising quintessential Seuss illustrations and rhymes, has created somewhat of a buzz, so PCN stopped into a local story time to hear more.
Dr. Seuss has made his way into the hearts of millions with his charming and fantastical creatures of rhyme. With an anticipated new story to hit bookshelves this summer, PCN wanted to see how our local libraries and bedtime storytellers alike are feeling about the new book.
Dr. Seuss has been a huge inspiration for so many children's authors, and he just always brings that love of reading and love of rhyme to children at a very, very young age, and it continues throughout adulthood. It's wonderful to see that so many children and adults still love it even after many, many years. Dr. Seuss encourages imagination through so many different venues because his illustrations are so unique and bright and colorful, but also his words. Some of them don't even exist, so you have to use your imagination. What would Salisaloo look like, or what would Barbaloot look like? The pictures are there, of course, but then children's imaginations can run wild because a Barbaloot isn't a tiger that you can see in a zoo or anything like that. It's something that only exists in your mind, in Dr. Seuss's mind. Dr. Seuss is incredibly popular. As soon as we put up our Dr. Seuss display with lots of books, we suddenly had only 3 left by the time his birthday came around, and that was only after a week. As soon as people are reminded how much they love Dr. Seuss, they will just grab it and walk down memory lane and introduce it to their children. It's wonderful to see.
The manuscript of the upcoming release, What Pet Should I Get?, was discovered in 1991 and then rediscovered again by Seuss's widow, Audrey Giselle, in 2013, much to the happiness of fans everywhere. Little Ruby and her grandmother enjoy these stories regularly.
Dr. Seuss and the Dr. Seuss series of books is an amazing set of stories for children, and it's been going on for many, many generations, and it's from one group to the next, and it's got the same theme of being entertaining but also very educational. So what do we learn from that, Ruby? What do we learn from the book?
That you think you don't like something, but you do.
Because you give it a try.
The simplicity of Seuss's work not just helped children learn to read, but also love to read. A love shared from family member to family member.
The new Dr. Seuss book isn't expected for a few months yet, but already there's a huge buzz about it in the library. We've pre-ordered the books, and if people could check them out beforehand and just put holds on them, I'm sure they would. We've had a lot of questions about it from librarians and teachers and parents, and we just want to get them as soon as possible because it's new and it's fun and it's excellent.
The book is set to hit bookshelves July 28th, and Dr. Seuss's legacy is expected to live on. Reporting from your local Storytelling Corner, I'm Maureen Bates, PACTV Community News.
I have a quick question.
What's that?
And I only say this because I went out for dinner the other night and I got some redfish, and made me think of the Dr. Seuss book, One Fish, Two Fish, Redfish.
Oh, so it's red fish, not green fish? I'm going to have to do some consulting with our script people on this one.
Yeah, you do that. If you're interested in preserving the nature and habitat here in Plymouth, folks at Plymouth Open Space could use your help and your input. The Open Space Committee recently held an open forum to get residents excited about helping out, and we met up with some of the event's organizers.
The Plymouth Open Space Committee has the mission of helping to educate the people of Plymouth as to the urgency of continuing to preserve and maintain our natural open space so that we can protect our water, our wildlife, our endangered species.
I'm involved in conservation as the program manager for community conservation at Wildlands Trust, where I really focus on getting folks involved in their community and learning more about the environment around them and why it needs to be protected and why it's so important to our quality of life.
On our agenda tonight, we have a number of people who have dedicated their work life or their volunteer time to helping to maintain the open space and wildlife and endangered species and protect our water here in Plymouth. We want the people of Plymouth to know what the economic benefits are of preserving open space. One is that it reduces the cost of services. There are a number of cost of services associated with development.
We really want people to know where their drinking water comes from, what the importance of habitat protection, and why biodiversity is important within the community in which we live, and how much the environment influences our lives here and our livelihoods as well. Protecting open space makes economic sense for the town, and it improves our quality of life for us and our families. There are so many different ways to become involved in preserving open space and protecting conservation land in your town. At the very base level, go to town meeting, be a be a voice, be a vote in favor of preserving, the landscapes of our community. If you want to step it up a notch, you can become a volunteer, get involved, join a board, get on your conservation commission, join your open space committee, attend planning board hearings, question developments that are going on. There are all kinds of ways, and then you can keep going. You can help apply for grants. You can become a local advocate. There's a world of possibility. It only goes up.
I hope that people walk away really feeling like they want to help, that they want to get involved, they want to volunteer, they want to help preserve what we have in Plymouth and keep our town looking as beautiful and as green as it is already.
Snug Harbor Community Chorus is a nonprofit volunteer chorus dedicated to sharing the love of singing and music. They have their spring concert coming up on Saturday, April 25th at the Performing Arts Center in Duxbury. This year they offered 2 $500 scholarships to high school students, and PCN visited a recent rehearsal to meet one of the recipients and to get a preview of the concert.
Our upcoming concert is our spring, obviously 2015 concert, and it is generally Broadway tunes, songs like that. This year it is entitled All That Jazz, and this year we will have 2 scholarship students performing, which is new for us. In the past we have only had 1 student, and that student was announced in December and performed in April. This year we've tried to expand our scholarship program, and we have a student who was announced in December and will perform, and we have a new student that will be announced at the April concert and will also perform. Well, the student that will be performing that was announced in December is Hannah Scheel. We meet them. They come to a couple of rehearsals the week of our concert, and then they perform, and they do their own number, so they aren't really a part of the chorus. They just perform their own solo.
I began voice lessons when I was in 8th grade, so I think I was 14, and I'm very interested in musical theater. I decided that I wanted to major in musical theater in the last couple of years, but my first show I performed in was when I was 10 years old. I applied in October. I submitted an essay, and then I got 2 teacher recommendations. And I know that one was from my voice teacher and one was from another teacher of mine in school, and they're both very nice. Well, I know that it's musical theater oriented, which is great for me because that's what I love. I'll be performing a song from Fiddler on the Roof, and this theater is very comfortable for me. It's like my old stomping ground. I just performed here a couple weeks ago for a state competition play, so it'll be comfortable, which is good. I know I'll be nervous, but I'll feel ready.
The chorus, if people don't know, is based in Duxbury. We do 2 concerts a year, one in December and one in April. It's a 503c nonprofit organization that the mission, part of our mission statement is that we contribute to the educational ability of students in the local area. And in the past we had 1 scholarship that was available only to Duxbury students. And this year, through the generosity of several of our audiences, we decided to try to expand the program and offer 2 scholarships and open it up to the surrounding towns of Marshfield, Pembroke, and Silver Lake. We also decided to open it up to instrumental students. In the past, it was only available to vocal students. So this year we have Hannah Scheel, who is from Duxbury, and another student who will be announced at the spring concert and will also perform there. And I can tell you that this is the first time we will have a student that is not from Duxbury.
I'm very excited. I can't wait. I have my first rehearsal today, and I can't wait to meet everyone and interact with everyone and sing for them, and I think it's going to be great. So.
River herring take their annual journey from Cape Cod Bay into our streams and finally to our ponds, and then they spawn. The herrings serve as an important part of our ecosystem, providing food for many birds as well as larger fish in the Atlantic. Alex Mansfield from the Jones River Watershed Association recently took the time to talk with PCN about the important fish count and how you can become a volunteer.
We're talking about our upcoming herring count in the Jones River for 2015. This will be our 11th annual herring count. We started in 2005 and have been keeping track of the fish in the Jones River ever since. As most people know, there's a moratorium on the take of river herring because their population's so low right now. So the data that we get from these fish counts is really important to us at the local level and also statewide. These volunteer fish counts are done in pretty much every river throughout the state, and the Division of Marine Fisheries uses that data to help do stock assessments. So the data that we collect locally with volunteers is really important statewide. So we're looking for volunteers. We call out to our membership and our community to help us do these counts. It's a simple method, but it takes a lot of manpower and a lot of dedication. It runs from April 1st to May 31st, or sometimes we'll keep it going into June. It's an important assessment, but it's really easy to collect the data. Basically, you need to be able to look at the water and have a 10-minute attention span. We'll give you a training on how to do it. You don't need to be a fisheries biologist. You don't need to be outdoorsy. You just need to show up and walk down to the fish ladder and count the fish going by. River herring are really important in a number of ways. They're sort of the bottom of the food chain in terms of all the rest of the fish out in the ocean. You know, they migrate up the coast as adults, swim up our local rivers and spawn in our local lakes and rivers in the spring. And then the juveniles head back out to grow up in the ocean. And they're preyed upon by just about everything, from striped bass and bluefish to sharks and birds. And so they really form the basis of the food chain for a lot of species that are important to us recreationally and commercially, big part of our economy. And that's why they've been such a key part of our local culture too. The Jones River, we saw some real low points in 2006 and 2007, starting to creep up now. The last year's run, 2014, was the highest that we've recorded in the 10 years that we have been doing it up to then, but not by a lot. Certainly not to historic levels, and only a few thousand fish more than previous years, but certainly going in the right direction.
There's really so much to learn about our water systems. It's a fascinating subject, and I think we have another website that we want to put up if you want to learn more about your local watershed association. At 36 Cordage Park in Plymouth, you'll find the Plymouth Career Center. Whether you're unemployed, underemployed, or looking for some extra work, there's someone there that can help you sort things out. Once a month, they host a job fair, and PCN stopped into one to get some more details.
We're here at the Plymouth Career Center Career Fair, which we do every month for somewhere in the vicinity of 20 to 25 employers. The purpose of the career fairs is to have job seekers come in who are seeking employment that are either underemployed or they're currently seeking employment because of layoffs, because of the economy. The employers come once a month to hire people, and that is the purpose of the career fair.
The type of people we're looking for New England Engineers and Designers, which is a temp and a permanent placement agency in New England, is anything or anyone within an engineering environment, whether they be assemblers, technicians, stockroom, inventory control. Yes, we have a lot of openings, especially within the medical device world.
We're looking for commercial drivers. We're looking for commercial drivers that hold Class A or Class B licenses.
We're looking for administrative and accounting professionals. That's ideal. So we're seeing I'm seeing a little bit of everything, but mostly those types of people.
We really feel that the job fairs are extremely successful being run every month. When we put out the advertisement for the employers to fill the spots, they're usually filled within a day and a half. Right now we have 10 employers on our wait list that we couldn't fit into the Career Center Career Fair, but they will be the first employers to be asked to come back, to come for next month's career fair.
At the Plymouth Career Center, we assist job seekers who are looking for employment. We usually start off with an orientation that tells them all about the services, resources, and primarily it's a lot of job search workshops that we have, and then they decide what it is they need. They're assigned a career specialist or job specialist, and we help them with their employment needs. I do a lot of workshops, basically the orientation, and then I also do the job search workshops, which include the
We're here at the Plymouth Career Center Career Fair, which we do every month for somewhere in the vicinity of We're here at the Plymouth Career Center Career Fair, which we do every month for somewhere in the vicinity of 20 to 25 employers. The purpose of the career fairs is to have job seekers come in who are seeking employment that are either underemployed or they're currently seeking employment because of layoffs, because of the economy. The employers come once a month to hire people, and that is the purpose of the career fair.
The type of people we're looking for New England Engineers and Designers, which is a temp and a permanent placement agency in New England, is anything or anyone within an engineering environment, whether they be assemblers, technicians, stockroom, inventory control. Yes, we have a lot of openings, especially within the medical device world.
We're looking for commercial drivers. We're looking for commercial drivers that hold Class A or Class B licenses.
We're looking for administrative and accounting professionals. That's ideal. So we're seeing I'm seeing a little bit of everything, but mostly those types of people.
We really feel that the job fairs are extremely successful being run every month. When we put out the advertisement for the employers to fill the spots, they're usually filled within a day and a half. Right now we have 10 employers on our wait list that we couldn't fit into the Career Center Career Fair, but they will be the first employers to be asked to come back, to come for next month's career fair.
At the Plymouth Career Center, we assist job seekers who are looking for employment. We usually start off with an orientation that tells them all about the services, resources, and primarily it's a lot of job search workshops that we have, and then they decide what it is they need. They're assigned a career specialist or job specialist, and we help them with their employment needs. I do a lot of workshops, basically the orientation, and then I also do the job search workshops, which include the resume, the interviewing, help people out in the resource area if they need help filling out applications and things of that nature, job development. Anything that has to do with reemployment services, I do it. We have a wide range of people. We have some that are entry level, then we also have high level professionals that come through. So we service all populations. You do not have to be unemployed to use the services of the Career Center. It's open to everybody in our communities, and a lot of folks come in here to take advantage of the services.
Pet Health is back with tips to help your pet and your family clean your dog's ears.
Hi, I'm Norm Stillman from the Court Street Animal Hospital in Plymouth, here for PCN's Pet Health segment. I thought this week maybe we'd discuss how to clean a dog's ears and also to know whether or not they need cleaning or not. With me is Bowden. He's volunteered to be our model today. So the first thing to talk about is when to know whether a dog's ears need cleaning. Usually you can just look inside of a dog's ears and you can see some dirt there. So if you open up his ear like this and you see something dark or yellowish in there, and the ear is not inflamed or irritated, then he may have a little bit of dirt in there which could use a cleaning. If the ear is inflamed or irritated, or if you try to take a look in there and he doesn't want you to look because it hurts, then it might be time to talk to a vet about that. Bowden's ears are pretty good today, but they're a little dirty, so we're just going to demonstrate a technique on cleaning his ears. All you'll really need is some ear cleaning solution. You can get this at any pet store in the world probably, and also a few cotton balls. We'll just open his ear up like a cup. So there you can see it's wide open, and you can take some solution and fill it up just like that. No worry about going too deep or filling up too high, no such thing. And then once it's filled, you're just going to grab a hold of the base of the ear and kind of mush it around like that. you'll hear it making a squishy noise in there, and that tells you that it's percolating down. And then after you're done, if you're outside, you could just step back and let them shake it out again. If you're in your kitchen, then take a cotton ball and wipe out the excess. Go ahead and do that about 3 times on each ear. Just massage it around in there. You'll feel the ear canal underneath your fingers there. It feels like a hard rubber tube. And once you get around it, you can massage it a little bit. No worry about going too deep. You can't possibly reach the parts of his ear that you ought not to touch. So you can go almost up to your second knuckle if you like. No damage to be done there. Well, good. So now his ears are clean. They're not infected at all, so we're just going to let him go with that. I hope you learned something today. Thanks so much for the opportunity. I'll look forward to talking with you next time.
Cute doggy. He was cute to work with. Anyway, Town Talk takes us to Plymouth for a spring update.
Hi, I'm Melissa Riggi, the Plymouth Town Manager. A couple of things I want to talk about today as the town of Plymouth prepares for the summer season. The first is I know many of you have seen all the road work that's taking place in the community. And you're right, we need to do better work on our potholes, on the street sweeping, and the general road repairs. But I can tell you that the crews are working really hard to make sure that happens. With all the miles of road that we need to cover, it is a long process, so we ask you to be patient. In addition, we're doing some beautification work. I think all of us are astounded by the amount of litter that we've seen throughout our community after this winter. So we're trying to work on things internally at Town Hall to see if we can put together litter crews that can really concentrate on that every week. And once again, we have some great neighborhood associations that have been able to help us with that, and we encourage you to continue to do that if you have the time. But we have some exciting projects going on, as well as doing the regular maintenance that we do around town. And that's the Plymouth Recreation book has come out. I think I'm surprised every year, even though I've been here for 10 years, when I see the amount of programs that we offer to the public, to the children, to adults. It's probably about 18 pages of different programs that people in the community can join. It's a great way to meet each other, to get connected to the area if you're new, and certainly the amount of programs and the instructors that we have really put a lot of themselves into these, so we would encourage you to take these classes or to sign up. And finally, we're also looking at the White Horse Beach bathrooms. That's something that's going to be coming in the future, but Plymouth has talked for a long time about making a better commitment to their beaches, to the waterfront, to our natural resources, and I think that you're starting to see that through some of the commitment we've made to purchasing land that's on the water side, to some of the grooming that we certainly need to do on Long Beach before we open for the season, and finally through these new restroom facilities that we should see maybe not this summer, but by next summer. So I hope that you notice some of the changes around the community that we're making for this summer season. I encourage you to get in touch with us on our new website if you see other areas for improvement, and we look forward to your feedback.
Thanks for watching tonight's episode. Replay times and links are at our website, PACTV.org, or you can catch us on YouTube.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to receive previews and links to all our stories.
We'll see you next week for another episode of PACTV Community News.